That's the key word this morning, set. I like to think if we're looking at a stoplight, you know, you have the red, yellow, green. We're in that yellow stage.
Dr. Patel also said that pollens can travel over 100 miles. So with that being said, if everything is fine and dandy right here at Phoenix's Piestewa Peak, that doesn't mean you won't be sneezing, because if the air quality is bad over South Mountain, south of there into the town of even Gila Bend, you could still have all those coughs, itches, and sneezes.
Just crucial information right there. Now, another question that we've been getting right here in the Arizona's Family Newsroom, is the COVID booster the same as the first shot and the second shot? Now, I asked that to Dr. Durrani, and he says yes, it's the same exact shot, just 6 months later. Now, this is really important to note right here. If you yourself out there has struggled with dealing with a similar situation of this such, there is help for you. I want to reiterate that there is help for you. Number one is the City of Phoenix Family Advocacy Center is just one of those local resources, and also the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline. And what we did is we put all of those resources and more over on azfamily.com. Golden Ranch also says that to them, they don't really worry so much about the size of a fire. What they really worry about is where the fire starts and what it's threatening.
I want to show you right now the proximity to her home to the creek. Now, that viral video we saw at the beginning of my report there came from the bottom of this creek, a different location in the part of town. It has been raining on and off all day. A lot of angst has been filled in this family, as again, it has been owned by them for generations and generations. Reporting out here in Miami, Frankie McLister for Arizona's Family.
You, Sean, or Amanda call it Michael Bublé. Let it snow. Let it snow. That is what I'm seeing. We are here at Aspen Vista Point. Now listen to this. Ed told me that 90% of green chilies all across the world, their genetics originated in his Pierce, Arizona farm. Cut down pollution and reduce la contaminación. You can get up to $400, folks. We have more information on our website, kvoa.com.
Look at you breaking out those Spanish skills.
Me viví en España por 6 meses,
Okay.
Amanda.
Nicole, good evening. Superintendent Wallen resigned over the weekend, and then he rescinded that resignation today. But tonight, the school board made it clear that he himself will not be allowed back. Today, students in Page, a town of just over 7,500 people, surrounded by the Navajo Nation, walked out of class. This after Superintendent Larry Wallen allegedly made racist remarks referring to indigenous students as, quote, brown kids. Today, the school board announced Wallen rescinded his resignation, and then just hours later, voting to put him on administrative leave.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Catherine John has 4 kids in the district. She says that she's the parent that Wallen made the controversial comment to, not knowing her husband is Navajo.
He pointed to me, a white mother, and said, your children will be fine. It's the brown children in this district that will struggle.
His comments came after a school board meeting where Wallen was questioned by parents about his plan to bring virtual teachers into the classrooms after nearly 60 teachers resigned in the spring.
I just felt like, wow, is that how we're looking at this? Because 84% of the students in this district are Navajo. So if he believes that the majority of these students are going to struggle, then why is he implementing these strategies?
And yesterday, in an exclusive interview with Arizona's Family, Wallen apologized.
Apologize? Absolutely. I would apologize for creating this kind of disharmony, and especially this week. You know what this week is? Homecoming. We should be celebrating homecoming.
And after the board's decision, we here at Arizona's Family reached out to Wallen for comment, and he declined to comment. Now, in the meantime, Page Unified School District says that they're going to be conducting a search for an interim superintendent to oversee their 2,500 students up there. In the newsroom, Frankie McLister for Arizona's Family.
Yeah, Jared, and in fact, we've been tracking them all day long. All of these businesses have been changing. But as we remember, on July 27th, which is really just a few days ago, the CDC announced that new announcement recommending that if you are in an area of high surge in COVID-19 cases, which, folks, that includes the entire state of Arizona, you yourself should be wearing a mask regardless of your vaccination status. So the question is, are all these businesses behind me and across the Grand Canyon state going to do anything in regards to enforcement of that recommendation? Walmart and Sam's Club, Target, and Home Depot. Those are just some of the businesses that have recently updated their mask policies due to the surge. Now the question is will others hop on the train? Robert Hite is the president and CEO of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce, and he thinks so.
We started surveying businesses last week, and I would say I'm pleasantly surprised to see the number who are automatically going to implement some form of mask policy for their employees or their customers.
Both Walmart and Sam's Club say that their employees need to mask up in areas of high infection, which is currently the entire state of Arizona. Now, Target is requiring their employees to start tomorrow here in the state. In Home Depot, they started requiring both customers and employees to wear a mask beginning today.
I don't think it's necessary.
Why so?
I'm really not buying that the Delta variant is nearly as bad as they're saying.
It would be annoying because, again, 50% of the Arizona population is vaccinated. They are a private business. They do have a right to mandate masks or not.
I always wear masks anyway, so sometimes it didn't really affect me at all whether they require it or not because I'm wearing one already.
But let's say an Arizona business chooses not to implement these measures. Hite says that it is their right.
We follow the data, we follow the science. ASU has had some remarkable data throughout the pandemic. So I think, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And if they're not, they're not.
Now listen up, Banner Health announced today that they're going to be cutting back on visitors. Now the rules change here in the state based on county, but here in Maricopa County, also in Gila County and Pinal County, it means just one visitor per day. Now nobody younger than 12 is even allowed at all. Mothers in labor may also have one person with them, and there will be exceptions, of course, for things such as the end of life, but you do, in fact, there need to check with each local hospital. Now, also, I did talk with Safeway and Albertsons today, both owned by the parent company Albertsons. They said that they will be updating their mask guidelines tomorrow. So stay tuned with us here on Arizona's Family. We'll have that update tomorrow.
Yeah, and I also saw McDonald's is now requiring customers and staff to wear masks inside, Frankie. So I think the list is going to grow in the days ahead. Frankie McLister live for us tonight in Phoenix. Thanks, Frankie.
Shock, because this is a big man. He's 6'2", like 260 pounds, and just a big guy. And we're saying like a mosquito took the giant down.
And that Valley woman in mourning has a message. She lost her husband just 11 days after he was diagnosed with West Nile. And Arizona is now seeing an uptick in cases. Frankie McLister spoke with the family, and Frankie, 11 days. This happened so quickly.
So quickly. It's just another testament, Chris, kind of to never take a single day for granted. But this story certainly just hits you right here in the heart. Now, David Walschlager passed away with West Nile virus just last Tuesday. He's a father of 3 kids and a basketball coach over in Glendale. Now, his wife, Julie, she just doesn't want this happening to you.
It was September 10th when David Walschlager stopped being able to walk and was rushed to Arrowhead Hospital by ambulance.
By the 11th, he was put on a ventilator in ICU, and, he just slowly declined neurologically.
His wife said it was 11 days later that he died.
It's just more shocking,
As of September 23rd, Maricopa County has reported 138 cases of West Nile virus so far this year. Now, last year in total, the county had only reported 3. And in terms of deaths, last year, the county only reported 1 death the entire year. And this year, so far, it's been 7. So why didn't we see many West Nile cases last year? Well, last year's monsoon was drier, which means there weren't as many mosquitoes. Dr. Natasha Bouillon is a family physician right here in the valley, and she says that today's rainfall is of concern.
The activity goes up with mosquitoes when we see rain because they tend to breed where there's standing water. And so whenever we see rainfall, we do see an increase in mosquito activity, mosquito bites, and the risk is we might see more West Nile cases because of this weather.
And because of this, here's what you should look out for.
The symptoms of West Nile virus can overlap with some of the symptoms of COVID. Things like fever, body aches, fatigue, even headaches. You know, the good thing about West Nile is the majority of people who get infected, they don't have any symptoms.
For the Walschlagers, those symptoms were life-changing.
Like if somebody has like, not minimizing it, but if somebody's like has cancer, you've got like months, you know, to like prepare yourself. Like, are they going to make it? You know, that type of thing. You know, we literally had like 11 days.
Tough to fathom, and there's the beautiful family right there. Now, experts say that there isn't really much of a direct way to treat West Nile virus, so the best way to protect yourself is to minimize that standing water around your home. Many individuals are going to be having that around their home today after the rainfall, but also use bug repellent with DEET, they're saying, Chris, when going outside.
Yeah, not something most of us would even think about, but you really have to avoid getting bit by the mosquitoes.
Right.
Frankie, thank you.